Hey friends, welcome back to the channel. So today I'm starting a new series called 5 on Fridays. And basically what I'm going to do is talk about 5 specific items per brand. So I'll do a different brand each Friday. But let me kind of tell you how I got here. So probably about 6 months or so ago, one of my fabulous subscribers who I have met in person, asked me if I would be interested in speaking to a women's group that she sort of runs. And she and I kind of went back and forth on what would be a good topic and that kind of thing. So in November, I actually went down to where the group is, which is in Princeton, New Jersey, and spoke with this group. And shortly before, I put out a video about the 5 handbags that I kept out during like the second half of our renovation. So because the renovation on the second half of our condo co-op was going to be more messy, and because also I didn't really have a safe, out of the way place to store all of the bags that I brought with me originally, without getting all dusty, even in dust bags, I didn't want to, I was just concerned. So I thought, you know what? And especially because I didn't think it was going to take that long, best laid plans, right? So, I thought, okay, it'll be like 6, maybe 8 weeks. 5 bags will be fine. So this was like August. And as you guys know, it's basically been August, September, October, November, December. Yeah, almost 6 months. Forget about 6 weeks. So it's been probably a good, let's say 5.5 months before I actually was able to get the original set of handbags out of their storage boxes that I had, etc. The point is that I made a video about the 5 handbags that I selected to keep out for, like I said, what I thought was going to be 6 to 8 weeks, and why I chose those. So after seeing that video, this subscriber who, like I said, asked me to speak said, hey, why don't you talk about that to the group, bring the bags and talk about each one and why you selected them, etc. But the question was asked, okay, so if these 5 bags satisfied you, because I also said I found myself not really missing any of my other bags. Or I shouldn't say that it wasn't that I didn't miss them, but I didn't find myself during this, back then, it's for the first 3 to 4 months, I didn't find myself thinking, oh gosh, I really wish I had that bag, because that would really be better than anything else that than the 5 I kept out. And so the question was, then why do you need more than 5? Which is a great question. And I'm sure those of us in the luxury community and those of us who love beautiful things like these, the answer is probably the same. I don't, but I just love them, so I do. So anyway, because of that, I thought, you know what? Why don't I do a series talking about if I could only have 5 items, and I mean in total, not 5 items from each brand, but 5 items from a particular brand. So if we're going to start with Louis Vuitton today. So if I was only going to have Louis Vuitton items in my collection, only 5, what would those 5 be? What would I consider the 5 core pieces that I would want in order to cover different situations and uses and all those kind of things? So that's what we're going to talk about on 5 on Friday. It won't be every Friday. I'll probably maybe do them every other Friday, just depending on kind of what my upload schedule is and what other videos I'm filming. So like I said, we're going to start with Louis Vuitton, and let's see what I chose. So when thinking about the items that I was picking, I had to think about, okay, Lisa, what do you use your luxury items for? And obviously, one thing comes to mind. You need something to carry your money / cards / keys, those kind of things. some form of SLG, I guess. The second then would be, what kind of bags do you need to cover as many situations as possible? And so let's talk about these 5 items. So we're going to start with SLGs. All right, so the first SLG that we're going to talk about is my clay or key pouch. I'm currently using the Christmas animation version. This is the winter one, but it's just plain on the back. I have another key pouch in my collection that's just the plain monogram, which I got almost exactly a year ago. I think I got it in March of 2023. Prior to that, I didn't find that I had a use for the key pouch. And if you watch one of my recent videos, which I'll put up here, I talked about how priorities and how things change, and how one item that was maybe a ride or die item to you may not be a ride or die item anymore. And this key pouch was one of them. That before I moved to New York City, I found no use for this. One, because I had a different item, my 6-ring key holder, along with another SLG that I'm going to show you in a minute. But again, I digress. So this would be the first item. And the reason why I say that is because this is a really practical item. So I can put cards in here. I can put my key in here. I can put cash in here. And it all goes in this little, compact little situation. So my first SLG that I would pick is the key pouch or clay. The second item would be my mini pochette accessoire. I never want to say to anybody that you must have an item, but for me personally, this mini pochette is a must-have. Now, I don't use it as, a mini bag. I don't go out with this bag. I don't tote this around. It's purely a catch-all that goes in another handbag. And I don't use this all the time, especially if I'm using a smaller bag, which, you'll see one here that is going to be part of the 5, that I wouldn't carry this in just because it would take up too much space. But, I think I sort of keep the typical things that a lot of people keep in their mini pochette accessoire. I've got, some lip products in there. I've got some Band-Aids. I've got a nail file. I've got some headache medicine in like a little pill thingy, and my Chanel mirror thing. Nothing super surprising, I don't think. I think I've got a hair tie in there or something, but it's a great catch-all. And I guess from the standpoint of being, versatile, that if I did want to use this as a little mini bag, and, maybe I would tuck this in and I could add another, a crossbody strap to it or something, and it could be a cute little crossbody bag just for the bare minimums, holding my phone, but having my cards, and what else? I could put the clay key pouch in here, and, whatever else I needed just to carry some extra things if I wanted that. And because it's in the Damier Ebene print, it is pretty much weatherproof. There's no vachetta on it, so you don't have to worry about it. So I think this could serve a lot of purposes, I guess, in my collection. So it really could be sort of an evening little clutch moment. Like I said, I've never used it that way, but if I only had 5 items and those 5 items were from Louis Vuitton, I think this would be a really good choice because it satisfies several different uses. Okay, so now let's get into some handbags. So the last 3 of the 5 items are all handbags. And I think probably all of us could maybe agree, not everybody's going to agree, but I think most of us could agree that some form of tote is kind of a necessary thing in people's collections, whether you use it for travel, or whether you're using it as a diaper bag, or whether you're using it as a work tote, or whether you're using it like I generally do, which is to, throw packages in there and go returns or go to the post office or whatever. summer. So whatever your uses, there's a lot of different uses for totes. I think, again, no one is going to be surprised, but it would be the Louis Vuitton Neverfull. This is my Neverfull. I don't think you guys have ever seen this bag because it's one that was in storage for the last year and a half, like literally in storage in a storage unit in Queens. You can see it's well loved, you know, it's got quite a patina on it. Mine is obviously in the Damier Azur. I used to have the Damier Ebene as well, and I just never really wore it. This I love. I used this several times, like when we took like beach vacations. I think it's a great sort of summer bag tote. Now, if I was going to get a tote, I probably would get this, again, if I'm thinking about the 5 items, if I was going to be getting a Neverfull and it was my only tote, because obviously I've got the Moreau Paris tote, which is actually bigger than this, I would get the GM. I think the GM is fantastic. You know, you can fit, it's, you know, it's stuffed and I've got an organizer in there. You know, you can obviously fit a decent amount in here, but I think if you're only gonna have one tote and you really need it to, you know, do a lot of duties, not just double duty, but a lot of duties, I think the GM would probably be a better choice. But yeah, I think everybody needs a tote, so my choice of a tote from Louis Vuitton is the Neverfull. My next bag, I think, really has to kind of serve as that everyday, you know, ride or die kind of bag that just pretty much goes with anything, can go crossbody, can go shoulder, maybe also go top handle if you want. But for me, that is the Pochette Métis. Now this is actually a newer bag to me. I just talked about this recently in a video. What was my video about? I don't even remember. What was the video that I put out that, oh, the best crossbody bags. I had to think about that for a second. But anyway, this to me is the perfect, like I said, sort of everyday bag. Yes, it has some vachetta on it, or vachetta. Can somebody please tell me, is there a proper way to say that name, to say that word? I hear it said both ways, and even I feel like people from France say it different ways. But anyway, vachetta, whatever you want to call it, yes, this has some. So obviously you could get a little concerned in the rain, but you know, just throw your hand over it or something if you get caught in a rainstorm. But it really, I don't want to go into too much detail on this because I literally just talked about this bag, but I think from, like I said, sort of a ride or die, small to medium sized bag that really carries everything you need on an absolute daily basis. You know, my mini pochette would go in here, my key pouch would go in here, a water bottle could probably go in here, my sunglasses could go in here, some gloves could go in there if I needed them to, those kind of things. It really, it packs a punch, even though obviously it is a bigger bag. I mean, it's not, you know, tiny. It's not like the mini pochette, which clearly isn't going to carry a lot, but it's well organized. The back pocket's amazing to put your phone in, so it's super easy access. The strap is great because it's highly adjustable and it can go really long. So those of you who may struggle, I mean, I do certainly on some bags, finding a long enough crossbody strap to really wear it where you want to. This bag has, like I said, a bazillion adjustments. So it really works for everybody, whether you want to wear it crossbody or on the shoulder. So for me, the second bag or the fourth item of the 5 would 100% be a Pochette Métis. So we've covered, you know, that running errands, travel diaper bag, you know, we got our tote, we have our everyday bag, we've got a little mini bag if we want one with our, you know, mini pochette accessoire, we could convert that. So what else do we need? Well, I think we need sort of a date night, dressier bag, and for me, there is nothing more perfect for that situation from Louis Vuitton than the mini capucines. This, as you know, is a very new bag to my collection. I got this in Paris when I was there, meeting up with the other creators in London, and then I hopped the Eurostar and spent 3.5 days in Paris, and this came home with me along with quite a few other Louis Vuitton pieces. But again, not the point of this video. But this bag, and it doesn't have to be. Mine is in the navy ostrich. You don't have to get a capucines in an exotic. It could just be in the regular, calf leather, which is also gorgeous. And they do in the regular leather. You can get the ones with like the crowns along the edge here is what they call it, and there'll be some Swarovski crystals in there, so you could get a little bling on your bag if you wanted to. But this bag, to me, especially in the combination that I have it in, it satisfies a lot of different situations. I 100% wear this bag casually. In fact, I've worn this bag casually way more than I ever have, like more on a dressy basis. But when I'm going out, to dinner, let's say with David, or going out with some friends in the evening, going to dinner or something, or going to a comedy show, something like that, I can take this bag and just carry it as a top handle, and it's perfect. It is the perfect little dressy top handle bag. But because it has the strap and I can wear it crossbody, I can absolutely wear this bag casually. And I think because of the combination I have, I think it probably lends itself maybe more than if I had chosen a different type of mini capucines. I was also looking at the beautiful petrol one that both Meredith and now Deb have, and that was one that I was seriously considering. In fact, that was the one I was going to buy, and when I went in the morning to go buy it, they had gotten one of these in. So I ended up switching and choosing this one, but that petrol one is definitely still on my list. So this, like I said, also can serve a lot of purposes, and for me, it is just the perfect evening, date night, dressy, but can also go casual bag. So that's it, my friends. Those are the 5 items. If I could only have 5 items in my collection and they all had to be from Louis Vuitton, those are the 5 items that I would pick. So let me know in the comments below, what would your 5 items be? And like I said, we're gonna do this each week. Every Friday that I do a video for this, we'll have a different brand. So tell me what your 5 items, if you could only have 5 items in your collection, what 5 Louis Vuitton items would you have? I would love to know and see, because I'm sure you guys will have some differences of opinion, especially on like whatever you would sort of pick for your everyday bag. And maybe you would only have one SLG and have 4 bags, or maybe you wouldn't have any SLGs because you sort of think, well, I don't care if it's my SLG, if my wallet or my key holder or whatever, a pouch, those don't have to be luxury, so I'm gonna pick 5 bags, whatever. Maybe you have more SLGs, who knows? My point is, let me know in the comments below what your choices would be. I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you enjoy the series as we go forward. They'll obviously be a little quicker next time because I don't have to go into that whole explaining to you why I'm doing this series. Now you guys know. So thanks, like I said, for watching. If you enjoyed it, please give it a thumbs up. It helps the algorithm. And if you haven't had enough of me yet, I will pop another video up here for you to watch. And wherever you are, I hope you are having an amazing day or evening. And I will catch you in the next one. Bye, guys.